The bigger the weight, the more numbers you'll see on the scale.
The Biggest Loser was a show that was supposed to help people become healthy, but there was another sinister side to it all. In reality, the show was incredibly toxic, and it actually caused some serious damage to the contestants' health, from allegedly forcing people to take substances to promoting EDs. What really went on behind the scenes of The Biggest Loser will leave you speechless. In its original run, The Biggest Loser produced 17 seasons and was on air for 12 years, but then everything came crashing down for the franchise when some of the contestants finally started speaking out, and what they revealed was genuinely disturbing. The people that came forward about the production's toxic behavior was Suzanne Madanka. Suzanne appeared on season 2 of the show, and she went home about halfway through the competition, but even though she didn't make it to the finals, she was still hugely impacted by the experience, and not in a good way. Suzanne said that the show did irreplaceable damage to her and some of the other contestants, and that damage apparently started even before the filming began. According to Suzanne, The Biggest Loser wasn't actually interested in the contestants' real story. They just wanted people at their very worst. Suzanne herself was allegedly told that if she wanted to appear on the show, she would have to gain another 20 to 40 pounds. The production wanted this because that way they could achieve even more impressive results. As Suzanne put it, the bigger the weight, the more numbers you'll see on the scale. Obviously, this kind of thing should have already been a red flag, but at the time, the show was really popular and people still believed that it was actually there to help the contestants. People didn't know just how toxic and dangerous the environment was, so it makes sense that Suzanne and many others decided to give it a shot, but they were in for a horrible surprise. Suzanne said that once she got there, a lot of really disturbing things happened. For one, the contestants were allegedly encouraged to take certain substances that might help their weight loss. This kind of thing is obviously dangerous, and with everything that's come out about the show, I doubt that these substances were actually prescribed with any kind of precaution and genuine medical advice. But it gets worse, because allegedly the contestants were also encouraged to engage in ED behavior. According to Suzanne, Bob Harper, one of the trainers on the show, actually said that purging was good. He just told the contestants that it was a good way to lose more calories, and that was that. It's no wonder that many people supposedly left The Biggest Loser with serious EDs. Suzanne also said that during her season, 5 people had to be rushed to the hospital. Many would also pass out at the final weigh-in, which is just insane. I mean, how was this show even allowed to be on air for so long? It was genuinely dangerous and put the contestants at serious risk, all for the sake of entertainment. But let's not forget about the contestant bullying that the contestants had to endure from the supposed professional trainers. At this point, Jillian Michaels is pretty infamous for her role on the show. She exposed contestants who were already vulnerable to constant verbal harm. She frequently insulted them and threatened them, and she even reportedly said that she didn't care about what happened to them as long as they continued to lose weight. But it wasn't just Jillian who was the problem. The format of the show itself was horrible and humiliating to the contestants. The people were isolated from their families, forced to work out for up to 8 hours a day, and they were also teased with junk food during their challenges. Obviously, none of this actually promoted a healthy lifestyle. Even though the contestants often lost a lot of weight, it wasn't something that was actually good for them. It was really all about the aesthetics, but almost no thought was given to the actual health of the contestants. Suzanne said that what also made the whole experience difficult was that the moment the season wrapped, all the support the contestants got was taken away from them, including the substances. The participants weren't given any helpful tools. So not only did they leave with bodies that were damaged and in shock, but they also didn't really know what they should do next. None of them were taught about healthy habits and maintenance. So in reality, the show actually didn't help most people at all. It only made things worse for them. For example, the winner of season 1 of the show, Ryan Benson, left with more than just the cash prize. Throughout the show, he dehydrated his body so much that he ended up urinating blood, which means that he most likely suffered kidney damage. The winner of season 15, Rachel Fredrickson, actually ended up being underweight by the season finale. Let that sink in. The show pushed someone to lose so much weight that they ended up being underweight, and then they crowned her the winner. Being underweight is obviously not healthy, and for the show to then reward this and celebrate it, that's just insane. Rachel admitted that she actually exercised for 6 hours a day to lose that much weight, which again doesn't sound healthy at all. This kind of weight loss can actually seriously damage your muscles and bones, and it can lead to heart complications. So it's just horrible that the show actually presented this as some kind of victory. Rachel lost 155 pounds in just 7 months, but she probably didn't actually actually leave the show healthier at all. Healthline actually did a detailed report on the diet the contestants were on, and they pointed out that the method that was used was good for immediate results, but it was ultimately dangerous in the long run. This, as well as all the people speaking out against the show, was probably why The Biggest Loser went on hiatus after 17 seasons. NBC just had no choice but to stop what they were doing. For a while, there was no news about the future of the show. It wasn't officially canceled or anything like that, but then in 2020, the show actually came back. It was still called The Biggest Loser, but there were a lot of changes made to the format. It was moved to the USA Network, and season 18 promised viewers a healthier approach to weight loss. The show got rid of the constant bullying of the contestants. There were no more challenges that tempted people with junk food, and the participants were often rewarded with things like gym membership, work groups, and access to nutritionists. The show tried to become more wholesome and more focused on health, but it wasn't really all that successful. At the end of the day, it just fell flat. Some people felt that the show was really just doing the bare minimum to seem more mindful, but it was still the same problematic show from all those years ago. It probably didn't help that the show was still called The Biggest Loser, which is just a humiliating title that belittles all the contestants. But I also think that there really wasn't much the show could have done to make it not fail. After we found out about what was actually going on behind the scenes, there was just no going back for the brand. So it's not exactly surprising that the show hasn't been picked up for season 19. Like I said, season 18 aired in 2020, and since then we haven't heard anything about there being any more seasons. I think that at this point, it just wouldn't make sense to continue with the show. It caused so much damage to so many people that we're probably all better off without it. But anyway, what do you guys think? Did you know The Biggest Loser was so toxic? Do you think there's any chance that the show might come back? Let me know in the comments below.